All right, let's talk about something we've all probably felt. That feeling you get in the middle of the workday where you just think, what is the point of all this? It turns out that sense of emptiness is becoming super common, and there's a real reason for it. So, we're going to get into why your job might feel pointless and, believe it or not, why that might be by design.
I mean, be honest. You sit down at your desk, you open up your email, and that little voice in your head just kicks in, asking, does any of this actually matter? If that sounds even a little bit familiar, well, you are definitely not the only one. Not by a long shot.
Because get this, according to Gallup, a staggering 70% of workers feel disengaged from their jobs. 70%. That's most people just going through the motions. So yeah, if you're feeling that disconnect, you're not some kind of outlier. You're actually in the majority.
So to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to talk about a pretty powerful idea from the late anthropologist David Graeber. He came up with a term for this whole phenomenon that just hits the nail on the head.
Yep, he called them bullshit jobs, and his definition is just perfect. He argued that a huge chunk of the modern economy is built on jobs that don't really need to exist. You know, jobs filled with tasks that add no real value, like generating reports nobody reads or attending meetings that go nowhere. They just exist to keep us all looking busy.
And the data backs this up. A YouGov poll asked people flat out if their job makes a meaningful contribution to the world. A whopping 37% said no. Think about that. More than a third of people are showing up to work every single day believing that what they do is, well, pointless.
And here's the most important thing to get. If you feel this way, it is not a personal failure. It's not about you. It's about the system itself. Huge corporations often end up creating all these layers of bureaucracy and middle management, not because they're efficient, but just to manage the sheer size of the organization.
Okay, so we know what to call it, but why? How on earth did we build an entire economy that's so good at creating jobs that feel so hollow? Let's dig into that.
This chart tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Over a 30-year period in the US, the number of people in productive roles, actually making stuff or providing a service, stayed pretty flat. But the number of administrative and managerial roles, they doubled. We created more jobs to manage the work than we did to actually do the work.
And you can feel this every single day. McKinsey found that we spend 60% of our time on what they call work about work. 60%. That's all the emails, the Slacks, the meetings about the upcoming meeting, all the stuff we do before we can even get to the real, skilled tasks we were actually hired to do.
You know, the pandemic was the ultimate test of this. When everyone was sent home, a lot of people thought productivity would just tank. But a Stanford study found the exact opposite. Output actually went up by 13%. It kind of proves that a lot of what happens in an office isn't real work. It's just performance art. It's work theater. And listen, this goes way beyond just being bored or frustrated. There is a real, serious human cost here. Feeling like your work is meaningless is a fast track to burnout and stress. It's so serious that the World Health Organization actually estimates that work-related stress contributes to almost 750,000 deaths every year. This is a legitimate public health crisis hiding in plain sight.
Okay, that's a lot, and it can feel pretty heavy. But here's the good news. Just understanding the problem is a huge step. So now, let's pivot. Let's talk about what you can actually do about it. How can you reclaim your sense of purpose? Here's a simple 3-step game plan. First, audit your job. Just make 2 columns. What tasks give me energy and what tasks drain me? Be brutally honest. Second, stop looking for your job to be your everything. Find meaning outside of work. Volunteer. Pick up a new skill. Invest in your relationships. And third, be proactive. See if you can reshape your current role to focus on more impactful stuff. Or maybe it's time to start skilling up for a totally new career that actually excites you. And if you need a little extra motivation, how about this? A 2019 study found that people with a strong sense of purpose live, on average, 7 years longer. 7. This isn't just about being happier at work. It's literally about adding years to your life.
So in the end, it really all boils down to this one crucial mindset shift. Start seeing your job as a tool for your life, not your entire life. A job can be a great tool. It can fund your passions, it can teach you things, it can connect you with people, but it should never, ever be your entire identity.
So here's the bottom line. Yeah, the system we're in might be really good at creating pointless work, but you are always, always in charge of creating a meaningful life. You have that power.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Just think about it. What's one small, pointless task on your to-do list for this week? One thing you can maybe automate, delegate, or just stop doing altogether. That's where you start. Thanks for tuning in.